meeting. Chair Hyatt,
Here.
Vice Chair Kramer,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Lindberg is absent. Commissioner Hobbs. Commissioner Kozinski.
Here.
Commissioner Costa.
Here.
Commissioner Friesen.
Here.
And I believe Commissioner Haswell will be here. Maybe she's just running a little bit late.
Okay, great. Would all rise? We do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance, flag, United States of America, to the republic, stands one nation, God, visible.
Okay, I see that you wanted to introduce Kelly.
I do.
And
Thank
we'd
you.
love to have you do that.
Okay, just a quick little briefing since I didn't like preemptive go over this with him, but just wanted to introduce our newest associate planner who started with the city last Monday on the 13th, so we're just in that second week. Kelly Mumper. He comes very, very highly regarded. I know because I called all of his referrals. And most recently, Winters, right? City of Renters. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand it over to him, and he can just do a quick little briefing on his. You guys can ask him any questions you want.
Oh, okay.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure and a blessing to have this employment opportunity. So I'm just really excited that I'm already started. I've got a list of things that I'm unpacking and reverse engineering, so to speak. And I'm just looking forward to contributing and taking as much off of the clerk and the planning director's plate as possible without overworking myself. But yeah, I'm just really excited. Thank you.
Great. Well, we are very happy to have you, Kelly. Did any of the commissioners have any comments for Kelly or questions? Okay. So moving forward, tonight's meeting is a joint meeting. We start out with a joint meeting to cover one public hearing item, and that public hearing item that will be heard by the Planning Commission and the Historic Design Review Commission, HDRC, is the Historic Design Review permit for 958 Lincoln Way. That's Baked and Brew. And then we will adjourn and then call to order the Planning Commission. And the Planning Commission will have a public hearing, or we will continue a public hearing that was started in June to adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council approve an ordinance amending Section 159.180 of the Auburn Municipal Code related towards mobile food vendors. So those are the two items that we have on the agenda this evening. But before doing that, I'd like to open up for public comment. If anybody has a comment on something other than those two items, now would be the time to approach the podium and make your public comment. However, if you do have an item on one of those two items, that would be later on this evening. Do we have any public comments? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. And we have approval of the minutes from the May 5th, 2026 meeting. I reviewed the meeting minutes. They all seem to be in order to me. And I would like to make a motion for the approval of the May 5th, 2026 regular session meeting minutes. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Tia, would you like to take a roll call?
Absolutely. Chair Hyatt,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kramer,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hobbs, Commissioner Kozinski, Commissioner Costa, and Commissioner Friesen.
Aye.
Excellent. Okay, so that brings us to the public hearing aspect of the meeting. And as I mentioned before, the first item is the Historic Design Review Permit for 958 Lincoln Way, a new illuminated LED wall signage at Baked and Brew. And Tia, would you like to walk us through this item, please?
Absolutely.
Actually, before doing so, for those that are not aware, let me kind of walk people through the process. The process is that staff will introduce the item, which Tia is about to do. Then planning commissioners and HDRC members have an opportunity to ask staff any questions that they may have of staff. Following that, there is a public comment period on this item. I would encourage anybody other than the applicant to speak first. It's always best if the applicant speaks last in the public comment period. The HDRC and planning commissioners at that time have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant. Once those are completed and there's some discussion, we would hope that a motion would be made and we could move forward with this item. So that's the general process that we follow on our public hearing items. So with that, Tia, would you like to introduce the historic design review permit process or item for HDRP 26-02?
Absolutely. Good evening, Commission. Tia Klump, your Planning Director. As Chair already mentioned, this is for item 4A tonight for Historic Design Review Permit for 958 Lincoln Way. New illuminated LED wall signage, also for Baked and Brewed Cafe and Bistro. As you are under this purview for the Downtown Historic Design Review District, the applicant is proposing to install 2 LED wall signs to the building facade at 958 Lincoln Way. The building frontage space of the tenant space spans approximately 41 feet. The sign area will be approximately 24 feet, which falls under the ordinance of 6 square feet for every 10 lineal feet of tenant frontage space. You'll notice in figure 2 down below of the proposed signage, it's two signs that will have each 14-inch channel letters with black front faces mounted on high-density urethane, also known as HDU, wood-like panel. The channel letters will be backlit with warm, indirect halo illumination visible at night. A building permit will be required for this, which will also meet the requirements of the energy efficiency standards for lighting, sign lighting controls for outdoor signage. There is an existing, the corner pub historical sign. There's no changes to that existing sign. It is proposed and will remain in its current location. There has been conversation that perhaps down the road that we can get that sign lit up again, but it takes a very special electrician to get that neon sign back in its place. This does require historic design review permit under the city's historic preservation ordinance. The historic design permit is under the purview of the HDRC for projects involving illuminated signage. Therefore, the authority to grant approval of this particular sign falls under the request of the HDRC. Staff have reviewed the selection of the sign materials, the colors, the lighting. We do consider this proposal to be consistent with the design and the tone and the downtown historic district. It seems to be very compatible with the building and the surrounding area. We do recommend approval of this request based on the analysis found within the report and subject to the conditions of Exhibit A, which is the resolution, and then you do have Exhibit B, which is the actual sign layout itself. The applicant and the building owner are here with us this evening if you have any questions, and as always, any questions you may have for staff, we're here, but that concludes my staff report.
Great, thank you. So with that, do we have questions of staff by the commissioners? Commissioner Kramer.
So on the display that's proposed, it shows kind of a darker background than what is currently there. Are they planning to paint the wall behind it, or?
Not at this time. I do realize that, yes, the picture is a little bit darker, almost kind of has that Pinterest look, but it is an actual photo, and I think it was just in order to put the signage on there, the sign company, I think, illuminated the building just a little bit. But there are no proposed change colors right now to the building.
Thank you.
Other commissioners? Any other questions? If not, I do have some questions. And that is, Planning Director Klump, question for you on this is, We have multiple places throughout town where we have lit signs at night. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong on this, if I remember correctly, those signs are typically lit during operational hours of the business. Is that correct?
That is correct. There are some signage that do stay on later after hours, but remember the 2025, the Energy Commission requires that those go to a photo cell and they dim down to just a halo.
Right.
So I don't know particular for this one, when they bring the building permit in, we will get that, the actual energy analysis on that one.
Okay.
But most of the time signs do get turned off after hours.
After working hours. Okay, well, and the question I will have of the applicant is, at this point, I understand that their hours are 6:30 or thereabouts in the morning until about 2 p.m. That would lead me to believe that they would not be illuminated at night, but there may be an advantage to illuminating them in the morning from when they open until sunrise. And so I will ask that question of the applicant.
That's a great question, because there may be some future plans for extended hours.
And I had kind of anticipated that. Okay, so that was the only question I had of staff. Did anybody else have questions of staff?
I have a quick comment. So just for clarification, the reason why this sign meets special approval is because of the warm glow that it's going to have?
Because it's illuminated. In our ordinance, anything
Right.
with illumination on signage requires historic design review.
Understood, but why we're allowing it, or why it's seemingly okay, is because they're coming in with the compromise of, we're going to have this, but it's going to be sepia toned, it's going to look like wood, it's not going to look like plastic, and I'm just confirming my understanding that that's
It's under,
correct.
yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it wasn't under the purview, we would just review it per design standards.
And
in
we
the
wouldn't be
ordinance as
here.
that. Correct.
It's just so that we're not going, we're allowing plastic, but still within the realm of looking within the look that we want, so that we don't set precedents and people just start ordering plastic and
Correct.
we end up with just confirming that that's the case.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, with that, I'd like to open it up for public comment. As I mentioned before, if there are members of the public that wanted to speak on this, other than the owner or the applicant, that would probably be best. Do we have any of those members of the public wishing to speak on this? No. Okay. And we do have you'd mentioned earlier, we have both Mr. Carducci and Mr., is it Yaman? Present. Did one or both of you wish to speak? And if so, do you want to just tell us your thoughts of what you're planning to do here? If you could just state your name. Yes, please.
Hi, this is Mujahid Yaman, and thank you very much for the accepting us. And it's gonna be first time giving speech. It will be a little for me. I'm very exciting, by the way. And so we applied a long time ago, and we are trying to do everything how it needs to be. And I know it's very important for us and to improve Auburn altogether. And hopefully our cafe is really busy places, and we would love to have our names on it, and I was trying to get it our names, and Tia helped me a lot about that, and you guys helping me a lot, and hopefully we will able to put our name, and we just want to do something. And I know it was a long process and long, with the light or without light. I just want to add a name, because we didn't have a name on our wall because it says Corner Pub. So a lot of people coming and just passing, and it's not Corner Pub actually. And this one sign, we have 4 signs actually. One of them is lit, and the other 3 of them is not really leading. And also, it's a very historic, very important place, and it's a capital of the world, right? It's for endurance run, and Auburn has amazing stuff, and we would love to just put our name on our cafe. And I don't have anything to say, but whatever Auburn required from us, and we are gonna do it. And the question maybe you asked it, and Tia didn't answer, I would love to announce here, and I was gonna put it on my window today. The 30 July, we are opening, hopefully. We got all health department permit and everything, and we passed it, and we upgraded our kitchen. We are opening from the 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mediterranean dinner. So
From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.?
5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and hopefully, thank you very much. And Auburn doesn't have any Mediterranean dinner, and I would love to add it. And we applied beer and wine license as well, and it's just on the way. It's coming. Already 3 months passed, and maybe it will be without beer and wine beginning. But we, for me as a chef as well, and also we hired 10 people. It's extra staff, and I know it was before. Maybe it was. I'm sorry if I'm taking too long. I just want to little explain, because that cafe, it could be small, but our heart is really big, and a lot of people knows us, and that's why we are making with the LED light, because we will be open at night. So that is but if you ask us to don't make it with the light, I will make with the no light as well. So, but hopefully we will, pass everything, and you guys will accept it, and that's what we want. And but I will comply whatever historic Auburn mission and also requirements. I will do whatever needs to, and I share it with everything with my landlord Larry. He helped me a lot about that, and thank you very much. Share it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have questions of the applicant by any of the commissioners? No questions at all? Okay, well, I think you've answered my question, and my question was, the period of time that'll be illuminated, so I'm assuming that in addition to being illuminated in the morning before sunrise, that you would also intend to illuminate the sign from sunset till 9 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, and I want to add it also. We are gonna put a switch, and our electrician, and we'll make it, and in the morning we don't need to light,
Okay,
and just whenever dark came, and then we will lit up, because in the morning sun's already giving to our building's color, and it's already really like we don't need color, and it's Mr. Larry's color as well. It's his company's color. I don't want to change it, and probably he's not gonna let me to change maybe in the future, but that's completely different, plan. And
Okay.
we will close it, and whenever the dark came, and then we will open, and that time it will be more, it's,
okay, fair enough, thank you.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Once again, any questions of commissioners? You guys are all very quiet this evening. All very quiet
I'll
this
just
evening.
say congratulations for
Thank you very much.
expanding.
Appreciate it.
So do we have a motion?
I'll move to adopt HDRC Resolution 2607, approving the new illuminated LED wall signage for the Baked and Brewed Cafe and Bistro located at 958 Lincoln Way, period. And you can have your light. I think-
The header says 02, but the thing says 07.
Okay.
The
And
resolution.
Yeah.
Tia, would you lead us in a roll call, please?
Chair Hyatt,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kramer,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hobbs, Commissioner Kozinski, Commissioner Costa, and Commissioner Friesen.
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Unanimous approval, and we're real happy for you.
Yeah, welcome.
Have a great evening. Thank you. Okay. So with that, I believe we need to adjourn the Planning Commission, the Joint Planning Commission and HDRC Commission meeting.
You can keep it open if you guys were still having discussion, because you were deliberating as a joint commission in June.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
your
the-
call, but then you would adjourn before you make the motion.
Okay, thank you for the clarification on that. So then, yeah, what I would, then let's keep it open, because we are in continuance of adopting the resolution for the city council approval of the ordinance, which amends section 159.180 relating to mobile food vendors. And although it is not necessary to have a public hearing, I feel that it is prudent to open things back up for a public hearing on this item in case there are additional questions or comments from the public. And so we will continue to do that. Afterwards, before we have a roll call, we will then close the joint meeting and open it up to the planning commissioners. So what that means is only the planning commissioners are able to vote on this particular item. Okay, so with that, as a continuance, we heard the item from staff last month, but Jonathan, did you want to present changes or modifications that have been made to this item in the last month?
Sure thing, Chair Hyatt. Good evening, Planning Commission members. Good evening, HDRC members. Jonathan Wright, your Economic Development Director. Absolutely right. On June 16th, you had a ordinance before you that provided for a reversal of the moratorium in food trucks or food vending units in Old Town and downtown with very prescriptive provisions. So it was ancillary to a business, putting the business as a primary operator, and this is just subservient to that use with some certain requirements. We had a number of people in the audience we heard testimony from. We had a number of business owners, including some restaurateurs and future restaurateurs, that were in favor of the ordinance. There were some folks here that were confused about whether or not they were going to be parked in residential zones, which we've, of course, modified the map to take care of that. There was some concern over Brewery Lane and having food trucks extend up into that area. So if you look at the new exhibit, it's actually taken the Brewery Lane area out and it confined that Old Town area to just Old Town proper, so as to not, A, confuse the public or provide some type of inadvertent opportunity in the future. We also heard from Mr. Anderson, who's the owner of Taco Tree. He had some concerns over the use being in proximity to his business. So in looking at that concern, I have amended the map there as well. So if you look at the new Exhibit A, it now has nothing on High Street, which actually makes a lot of sense because there's really no reason for it to be over there. It's outside of the central commercial district area. Those are service-related businesses. They're not retailers. They're not necessarily restaurants. There's no real reason for food trucks to be in that area. So that has been removed as well. At the conclusion of the hearing, after hearing testimony, there was some concern from the Planning Commission over the term temporary and what temporary actually means. And direction was given to staff to come back with a definition. What is temporary? So what you find in this ordinance is it clearly defined as 5 days within a 30-day period. So it would be no more than that. Anything more than that would require a use permit. It would come back to the Planning Commission as a quasi-judicial action under your authority. If you backtrack a little bit, when we left here, there was some discussion about maybe doing, 6 days, 6, 5, somewhere around there, and I actually went down to 5, knowing that we did have at least one member of the business community that had concerns. So 5 days is what staff is proposing at this point, not the 6 days that had originally been discussed. There's also the other provision in here, which was the whether or not they need to have a permit or not. And again, staff kind of pleaded the case of we are very limited in capacity. We don't need another permit that we have to go through and process. But we heard the concern from the Planning Commission, and we decided it is in our best interest to be aware of this so that when somebody wants to use, a business wants to use a food truck, they notify us and provide us the opportunity to review what they're proposing and provide them with a written go-ahead. So that way we know time, place, manner, where it's going to be. And if they're not operating within those parameters, or if there's a food truck that is out there just operating on its own, we are now aware that that's now an enforcement issue. So that is what we proposed for the, in lieu of the permit requirement. It is a notification requirement, which is something that we've been using in land use for forever to try to get more of an over-the-counter feel, but with having the notification so that the departments are aware that that's actually occurring. Another thing that was added here was as a result of a follow-up conversation with Mr. Anderson. There was concern over whether or not ancillary meant that they would have to use the restroom facilities of the business, that they would have to provide the refuse containers, that all those things would have to be in conjunction with the business. So there's a provision that's been added in there that requires the food truck in association with the health code to provide those things, which again, it's ancillary to a business, so it's really going to be up to the business owner to provide that for the food truck, but it ties that together so that they're aware that those things have to occur, and they're not wandering across the street to the neighbor's business just because they don't have any facilities to operate out of. Beyond that, there has not been a whole lot of change to this. I am aware that we received a last-minute email today from Stacy Youngren in regards to another request to amend the ordinance, in which the request is that the Planning Commission would be able to retain the right to reduce ancillary vending less than 5 times per month, should it be determined necessary. Now, I want to remind you, this is a legislative action, and you guys are not a legislative body. You don't have the ability to amend ordinances. You have the ability to do quasi-judicial actions, which happen on a property and affect that individual use. For you to be, well, you can recommend whatever you want to the planning or to the city council, but I can tell you that the city attorney will strike that. A, it's arbitrary and it's subjective, and B, you don't have the ability to amend an ordinance. Now, backing up, planning staff, as well as myself, are very responsive to the issues in the community. And should the Planning Commission bring up the fact that they think that there's more operations, because they're hearing from constituents that there's more operations happening than they feel comfortable with or they've heard concerns with, that's something we will come back and obviously address. I'm sure you're aware we're on our second round of the entertainment zone ordinance, just went through another amendment. So we're not opposed to going back and saying, okay, let's look at this thing closer. This is our first attempt to see how this thing operates. Give it some time and see how it works. If virtually no issues, then we move on. If there's issues that arise or over time things come up, then we can certainly address those as a legislative process through a public hearing, which is required by law. So I'm going to conclude staff's report at this time and say we recommend in favor of the adoption of the ordinance, or the resolution recommending adoption of the ordinance to the City Council as amended in this last iteration. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Do commissioners have questions of Jonathan? Yes, Commissioner Hobbs.
Yep.
Commissioner Hobbs, can you speak into the mic so we can capture you? Your beautiful voice, thank you.
Mm-hmm. had the same question. It seems like there's an inconsistency between those two items, the way it reads right now.
One is duration, the other one's how many hours they're allowed to operate on site. What's the question?
Yep.
Right. No, that refers to the previous section in here that had a 2-hour requirement for a use permit, which doesn't make any sense because if you're providing for a use permit, you're doing it on its own merit, and you're looking at the compatibility of what the applicant's proposing mixed with what the community or the surrounding stakeholders are wanting to see there. So, yes, no, it's separate. Yep. Right. The issue is that it's a temporary use and it's provided in conjunction with some type of short-term festivity at the site. We know with Old Town Downtown, there's limited on-site parking, and many times when we have events in town, it forces all the parking out of the area, but people still manage to park and get to where they need to go. I mean, it's up to the pleasure of the Planning Commission whether or not they want to impose additional standards, but I would say it's going to be very difficult for any business in Old Town or Downtown to utilize this provision with that requirement. Right. But to not allow the food truck to utilize the associated parking would be the issue. Okay. Right. Right. Well, you could back up and say, absent the food truck, that a business could do that now and it would still be the same effect. We're only addressing the food truck being there in conjunction with whatever that operation is. I know, I get it. And you have the parking, I hear you with the parking, yep.
The commissioners, Commissioner Kramer.
Yeah, thanks. I think you were responsive to everything that we brought up, and I would say that I would agree that if there's a issue, just like there is with the entertainment zone, that there'd be tweaking that would come back either way, expansion or contraction. So I'm a lot more comfortable with it this way.
Other commissioners? Comments? Yes?
Kind of
Commission.
along the same lines is we can't know if it's going to work if we don't try it. So.
Okay. The only comment I had, Jonathan, was the exact same first comment that Commissioner Hobbs had. And that, in my opinion, that paragraph she was referring to, the last sentence is, accordingly, the length of operation standard has been removed from the ordinance. I think you've clarified that, though. And you're telling me that Article 159.180 D3A is going to remain, so I'm comfortable.
Anything that exceeds the ancillary provisions has to go through a use permit.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So with that, do we have public comment on this particular item? Okay, hearing none or seeing none. I guess we need to, a motion needs to be made to send this to city council.
But we should adjourn.
Well, we should
As a
adjourn.
joint.
Yes, adjourn
joint.
first as joint. And so, let's call the joint, Planning Commission HDRC meeting, let's adjourn that.
6:35.
Thank you. And then we need to call to order and do a roll call of the Planning Commission. And Tia, could you do
Yes.
that, please?
Planning commissioners, seeing that nobody has gotten up and left the building, Chair Hyatt, Vice Chair Kramer, Commissioner Johnson, and Commissioner Hobbs are all in attendance. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you. Okay, so with that, I would like to make a motion that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution amending that the City Council adopt a resolution recommending the City Council adopt an ordinance amending Section 159.180 of Chapter 159 zoning of the Auburn Municipal Code related towards mobile food members. You have a second?
I second.
And Tia, could you lead us in a roll call, please?
Thank you. Chair Hyatt,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kramer,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hobbs. Thank you. Motion passes. We're good. I have on the agenda next for economic development updates, but maybe give Jonathan a minute, or I can just go straight into.
Yeah, and actually there's, I should have brought this up before we did that, but, on, going back to that item, under Exhibit B, item, let's see, I guess it's under A, B, C, under D, zoning and prohibited locations, D3. Jonathan, you've got an area there under D3 where it says notwithstanding subdivision, food vending shall be allowed in the historic areas as illustrated on the map entitled, and then you don't have a name of the map in there. I'm assuming you're gonna fill that in.
It's Exhibit A that's attached to the packet.
Okay, which is the ancillary mobile vending area as prepared by Dudek?
Correct.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. It's just, it's not listed.
We didn't.
Yeah, I haven't filled it in yet. 'cause
No big
we're
deal.
Still in flux here, but
No problem.
it'll probably be Exhibit A or some other
Okay.
fun name.
Okay, I apologize, I should have brought that up earlier. So then we go to staff follow-up reports.
Are we done?
You want to do economic development?
Sure.
Okay.
Only a couple things to note. I think I've expressed to many different groups that I'm really impressed with the amount of enthusiasm there is for Auburn. There's a lot of people looking to relocate businesses here or to expand. I've been trying to pigeonhole people where I can, and especially in Old Town where it's been difficult. Of course, we have our legacy landowners that are still not opening those businesses yet, but we are seeing a reasonable level of effort that's been given by those folks. So I will tell you that I tried to get a viewing on Commercial Street because we had the old Salt Lounge that was, available. We had what was Zoosh Modern down there that was available. And from the Salt Lounge, we were really interested in working with this individual and we're not interested in having anybody else come over. And then when I got to Zoosh, it was, it's already under contract. So it's happening fast. So then I went across the street and realized that Tio Pepe's had a truck parked in front. So I went in there and talked to them. And lo and behold, Banditos Mexican is getting ready to open in there. So we immediately went over as staff and introduced ourselves and kind of walked them through the process because you could tell he was sweating looking at that old building, going all the things he had to do. But a very reasonable person because normally we get the response when we say, how soon do you want to open? It's always next month. And then you go, ooh. But he was like, well, by the end of the year, we'd like to. And I'm like, okay, you're a reasonable person, so this is good. You're going to think through this and got a real chance of success. So that's exciting. So that one will be open just eventually, actually meeting with the health department over there on Thursday, so working through all the steps there. Very excited to announce that We worked with, actually, especially Tia's team, worked with the Powers Mansion folks to get them all the way through the tenant improvement pieces, and we were kind of pushing to get them to start start doing stuff. And last week, the trucks pulled up, and you'll see there's been activity happening there. So they're still clearing off a lot of things from the site, but they said by October they should have a pretty significant level of completion. So they plan to hit that pretty hard. That's obviously a big win. We're talking about not just transient lodging, TOT tax, and having the ability to have events and places to stay right there, which I believe are about 17 keys in that one, if I recall correctly. So, not a huge hotel, but, providing those experiences. And absent of having an additional hotel in town, we need to start, looking at how we provide unique one-off experiences. And maybe that's going to be our claim to fame is, you get to come to Auburn and stay in an old Victorian and walk right out your front door and go to a barcade and walk up the street and go to a beer garden and have some great food, great entertainment, because there's always, things happening here. So the only other thing I have to report is tomorrow the paint ordinance finally goes into effect, the paint streamlining. Main commercial corridor downtown and Old Town will all receive a letter from me notifying them that this is an opportunity and asking them to clean up their stuff. Given that they can do that. Downtown did put some money behind it, so there is a grant program, and I put an application in there, so they will be providing that $500 grant, which is reimbursable, to people who want to improve their facades, and so we're hoping to see some fresh stuff come out of it. I already know I've had one inquiry from the new owner of the old Avant Garden into what it takes to apply for the grant. So. I'll be working with Downtown Business Association to get those monies out and get things moving there. So that's all I got right now.
Yes.
Excuse me, at one time we had some discussion about addressing that at our August meeting, but I know it's a 45-day review period.
Yep, it's on my list. When we jump into it,
Go ahead.
'Kay.
Thank you.
general plan update and the draft EIR is in screen review right now, meaning we're just doing the last little bit of administrative, just a quick check before we send it out for public comment. We anticipate doing that. We're going to be meeting with Barry Miller, our consultant, next Thursday. He's going to be bringing us our hard copies for the counter, and then we're going to sit down with Amy Lynn, our clerk, and how we're going to do our social media presence and get that pushed out there. It'll be posted on the website. It'll be on the auburn24.org website. We'll have counter copies. We will be providing copies for the Planning Commission as well. You'll get both the general plan and the draft EIR. We will be having, so that will go into effect. We're trying to get this, the clock started on the 31st, so the next Friday. If we can get all of that posted, that will start the 45-day public comment review period. While that's happening during that review period, our August 18th Planning Commission meeting, we will be meeting here. It's going to be a study session. Barry Miller will be here. He's going to go over everything, general plan, where we are, and what the expectation is for you as the commissioner, what your role is in recommending adoption by the council. So we'll spend that time. You don't, but you're more than welcome to attend. You just don't have the voting on there, but you've gone all the way with us on this. I would hope that you guys want to come all the way to the end. Nope, you're more than welcome. I can put it in as a joint meeting, or if you guys don't want to sit up there, you can sit out here, but please come, just because this is, a big deal in the making. We're 3 years in it, and we're almost done. So the plan is for August, do the study session. We'll still be in the 45-day comment period. Once all those public comments come in and we get them back to and circulate with the consultants, the goal is to do that through September and be able to bring it to commission for recommendation to council in October and get to council in November for first reading. We got to get this, come on, one and done. That's why we're doing study session.
So you're gonna, the intent is to recommend approval of the final EIR in October.
We'll be at the beginning of September. We got this. Positive. We're gonna really try. We gotta get this.
That's why
because
Kelly's here, to help out.
We have so many things at the end of the year that we really need to get through, because remember, we've talked about it. As soon as we get the general plan and the EIR done, we still have to get the domes, the Auburn infill station, need to get that to you guys to recommendation for council to adopt that. We've got to bring back the cannabis ordinance. We want that by the end of the year to council, the cannabis. Remember that word? We need to get that to council, and we need to adopt the general plan before we can do the cannabis ordinance after that, and then all things form-based code thereafter. So this is what we're really hoping for. I think the study session will be very helpful. Barry is going to bring everything, answer all the questions. It'll be open for public comment, so maybe we can help seed some of those public comments during that time as well, just to get some feedback there. But that's where we're at. In the planning department, we are all things general plan right now.
So you're looking at it, the October meeting, if my calendar is correct, it's October 20th, Tuesday, October 20th?
Is that second Tuesday, third
That's-
Tuesday?
Third Tuesday.
Yes,
Yep.
that's the plan. September will be just, finishing up comment period and going through, taking in all those public comments.
And that's October 20th. September, let's see.
September, we will have a meeting, but it won't be on the general plan. So if we don't have any items right now for, under the purview for, planning commission or design or historic design review, but it doesn't mean we won't get anything at the end of the month, August, the 1st of August. If we get something and it warrants to bring it, we'll do it in that timeline. Yeah, it can definitely be joint. There's no action that will be taken during that meeting. Yep. And remember, so once it goes out for public comment, you guys will be, I'll personally send you the draw. It's big, so we're not going to print every one, but if Barry's going to be bringing us some counter copies, some for staff and for sure for the commissioners. But if you have the request for one, we can definitely get those printed. You guys at least have it for that, a few weeks before we meet for the study session. So that will give you guys some opportunity as well to do that review.
Okay.
But we, like I said, meeting with Amy, we'll figure out what's the best way. I mean, it'll go through clearinghouse and so forth, but what's the best way to push it out to the public? We have people who are on the subscriber list for Notify Me for Planning Commission agendas, so we're gonna put it through there as well, notifying them that it's available. It'll go on Facebook, it'll go on the website, it'll go on public notices, and so if you have any other ideas of where we can get it out there and get that feedback, that would be great. The goal would be to get all of that during the 45-day and just, so we don't have this at the end, I didn't know.
Okay, sounds good. I'm sure Barry's got a lot of ideas on how to get it out there as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, so we will be spending that time next Thursday when he's here on how best to do that. So I'll let you-
Is it prudent to have an article or something on the, I don't know, but in addition to Facebook and the city site, but also in the Auburn Journal
Yeah.
saying that it's coming?
Yeah, we can do that. That's gonna be what we're gonna talk about. What's the best way to really push it out there? So, I mean, we'll use all of our necessary means that we have right now that we do for everything else for public notices, but we'll keep it open too. Always, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know, and so right now when people if anyone inquires now when it's coming, everything, I've just been directing the public is please subscribe on the Notify Me on the website under Planning Commission agendas, because I'm already sending them right now, city council agendas, and that way we have a pretty good size subscriber list. And they get that through either email, they sign up through SMS text, so they're notified that it might not be the whole thing, but it'll just say, hey, the general plan, the draft general plan and draft EIR is out for public comment. And we still have a lot of people that are, from the very beginning, that are aware of the auburn2045.org website. They know that that's a site that they keep up with for all updates on the general plan.
Would it be helpful, Tia, to bring it up at the chamber board meeting, have it added to the newsletter and
Yeah.
start dropping that out? Because you
Yep.
could do it through chamber, through EDC, and pushing those. So I made a note to share to link
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. So when it does come through, sure,
Yeah.
you go to Medlars and do that? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just any way
Mm-hmm.
to business owners and to push that out. If they're not looking at city stuff, they might be looking at that.
Yeah. And I mean, remember, they're high-level documents as
Right.
well, so it does make it tough to get those comments, but I would encourage our public, since we haven't had a general plan update in 33
A long
years.
time.
This is the opportunity to really look, to see what staff has done over the last 3 years. And focus groups, right?
Yeah, all the
of
results of all the meetings and things that people attended and went
Yep.
through over the years.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. So when you do get that, yeah, please feel free to share, and then we'll just kind of direct where they're being posted. And like I said, we'll have a counter copy. I know that makes it tough for people when they want to come in, but we'll keep our, conference room in the planning department in room 3. I can keep that open, available too. So if somebody wants to take it, go sit in that room for an hour with the door closed, fine. By all means.
It'll take more than an hour.
I will offer that room up.
The executive summary, maybe.
Exactly. So that's all I have right now for those updates. Stay tuned in your email inboxes and stuff for the end of next week is what the
Okay.
plan is.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You've been busy.
We've been very busy. I'm
Yes.
excited to get this far into it.
Yes. Do you know of any other agenda items that would come up during our August 18th meeting, other than the study session?
No, I'm really trying to keep the August 18th just focused solely study session and not have any public hearings. Yep, same time, everything will be here. Yep, same time. Barry will probably do PowerPoint on there and bring it down with maps and all that. So we can accommodate it in here, but it's working out on our schedule for applications that we have that nothing will hit that August 18th meeting. They we'll roll them to the September meeting, and that'll
Okay.
be okay.
So that study session is also open to the public,
Correct.
but I'm assuming there's not an opportunity for the public to comment at that study session. Is that true?
No, we probably will, but it'll be limited to the 3-minute. It's not going to be for discussion, but it
Right.
might just be for a comment, which is helpful a lot of times to Barry as well, because we've done that before, and so he's able to vet some of those public comments that otherwise they may not have sent in. But we'll see. I do expect public to be there. They've already inquired,
Sure. I'm sure there are quite a few public members here.
but yeah. We'll see, but we will have to keep it just dependent on how many people we have here to a time.
Yep. Okay.
Okay?
Anybody have any other questions, or did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
No, that's it. That's
Okay.
all I've got on our plate right now.
By making a motion to adjourn our meeting
If
tonight?
you don't have anything else, by all means, we'll get out of here before
Look at that,
the
in less
7
than an
o'clock
hour.
hour.
That's pretty good.
Good job.
Okay.
Did that perfect.
Second, adjourn. Adjourn. Look at it, it's been sitting there. It's been sitting there.